So this is your video for home labor and delivery preparation. You can do these positions with your partner starting at about 36 weeks of pregnancy, ongoing until your birth. These are also great positions to do while you are in early and active labor. So the first one is a side-lying pelvic pressure position. So what you're gonna do is have your partner, pregnant mama, in her side-lying position. You can prop up with pillows under the knees, under the belly, and under her head. What the partner is gonna do is find her pelvis. So not the soft part of the abdomen, but the actual bony pelvis portion here. Her hip bone is down here, so that's kind of that bony part on the leg. So we wanna actually go to the wing of the pelvis. I'm gonna stack one hand underneath my top hand, and I'm applying a pressure straight down towards the floor. What this does is it offers a little bit of opening through the front and the back of the pelvis, and it should feel good for mom. If it doesn't feel good, you may need to alter your position so you're maybe a little bit higher up on that pelvic bone, and make sure your partner is giving feedback to make sure that pressure isn't too much or too little. We're slowly loading onto that pressure, and to come off, we're slowly coming off. So to review what this looks like with the pelvis model, again, mom is side-lying here. We're taking that top hand and applying some pressure to that top bony pelvis, just like so. What that does is it just helps open up the front and the back part of the pelvis. All right, this next position is a sacral rocking in quadruped. So mom can have her elbows up on a ball like you see Dr. Megan here, or hands on the floor. One hand, the partner's hand, is gonna go right on that sacrum. That's that bony triangle in the back here. And the other hand is gonna be lightly pressing or holding up on mom's low belly, kind of right above that pubic bone. The hand on the belly is not pressing very hard. The hand on the sacrum has a little bit more pressure. Make sure mom gives you some of that feedback. And you can just apply a light belly lift and some pressure downward on that sacrum. The other option here is to add a little bit of rocking. So you're gonna kind of rock, a little belly lift and down. Little belly lift, pressure on that sacrum and down. Remember, the hand pressure is not super heavy, just a nice lift for belly. The other option here is to do a simple sacral pressure. So all I'm gonna do is put my hand on that kind of flat part of the pelvis and then stack my other hand there, and I'm just adding a little downward positioning or downward pressure with my hand. And this should feel really good for mom. To show you on the pelvis what this looks like, if this is Dr. Megan's pelvis, one hand is going here on that flat part of the sacrum, pressing down. The other hand is here on the belly. This next position is pelvic counter pressure. Your partner can be in hands and knees, just like you see Dr. Megan here, or hands or elbows up on a ball or a sofa or chair. So for this one, her pelvis is oriented like so. My two hands are gonna be on either side of the pelvic wings. So I'm essentially applying an inward pressure, which helps open up the SI joints and the pubic bones. So it'll look something like this. I'm gonna find her bony pelvis, not the soft part, but that bony part, those wings of the pelvis. My palm pressure is going to press inward, again, loading slowly into that pressure, holding. Mom is giving me feedback. If that pressure is good, too much, too little, we can hold here. Mom can breathe as long as she needs me to hold that pressure. And then we slowly come off. Next, we're going to demonstrate a belly sifting technique, or a rebozo sifting technique. This is not something you want to do if there is an anterior placenta, so just make sure you talk to your provider first. But if that's not the case, this one is really safe to do. You're gonna take a long bed sheet, fold it in half the long way. Your partner is going to stand over pregnant mama behind her. We're gonna take that sheet nice and gently, placing around the belly. And partner's body mechanics is pretty important, so I'm not gonna be up and bending from my back. I'm gonna be in a squat position. I'm gonna hold pretty close to pregnant mom's body. And I'm applying just a nice gentle pressure upwards. Make sure mom gives you that feedback. We don't want pressure that's too hard or too heavy, but just a nice support. She should just feel a little lighter. This might feel good to be here for a minute or two, or we can start to add some sifting. So I'm just gonna simply lift up on my right hand and then lift up on my left hand. This helps give baby some space and encourage baby to move down into that pelvic birth canal. And it can just feel really good for mom. If mom likes, she can even add a little hip rock side to side. Good. Perfect. So this next position is pelvic rocking circles and figure eights on an exercise ball. We highly recommend that you purchase a ball like this or a birth ball because you can use it during your pregnancy as well as delivery and during postpartum. So to get that pelvis moving, give baby some space, we're gonna start with some pelvic circles. So Dr. Megan, go ahead and start to circle your pelvis. Yeah, thinking about drawing a circle with your perineum or your tailbone. Making sure to go both directions. Another position you can do here are pelvic tilts. So she's just gonna sit nice and tall, but tip her pubic bone, her tailbone back, pubic bone forward. Just tipping back and forth, creating a little bit of space and length in that low back. And then the last one are figure eights. So moving her pelvis in that figure eight position. Again, just opening up through the back, the hips, the pelvis, creating mobility and space. This next position is curb walking. So we obviously don't have a full curb to demonstrate, just a yoga block. But if you do have stairs and you can sidestep up your stairs, that's a great way to help open up that pelvis. It's a nice asymmetrical posture to give space to the pelvis inlet and outlet. The other option is to go outside and find a curb, and you're just gonna step one foot up on the curb and step down, step up on the curb, step down.